Hi you guys, welcome back. This is the first day of 2-point perspective and I just wanted to show you my setup in my kitchen. So usually this is the little breakfast table, popcorn machine. We will be serving popcorn later on for those of you who are staying for this video. And then look at the sides. I've got all these art supplies in the corners. I've got the project for today. I put my iPad up on this tripod, which is actually a paint box for plein air painting. I got the still life set up there. The future projects right there. I don't know if you can see that. So we're all set to go. Today, like I said, we're gonna do 2-point perspective. And I want to remind you that if it is challenging to do, don't worry, just practice doing the cubes. I'm going to show you another new cool thing about doing cubes with 2-point perspective. So let's get started on that. Okay, here we go. 2-point perspective means that there is going to be now 2 vanishing points. Okay. So the way that I did this is first to do a horizon line. I'm going to use a fat Sharpie. Okay, we're just practicing the cubes now. Then I'm going to take 2 vanishing points, make 2 dots, and I'm going to make a line here in the middle going down for our cube. So remember before we made just a square that was, this was parallel to that. Okay, this time we are gonna we're gonna see the cube from the corner. Okay. I'm gonna take this vanishing point. Again, you're going to do this in pencil. I'm just doing it in marker so you could see. Now, anywhere along this line, if I make a line over here, it's going to be more of a rectangle shape, which is fine. I'm going to make, and this is where the T-square helps. Remember, you set it along the edge of the paper. I'm just going to eyeball it. And there we have a 2-point perspective cube. Now it looks different from these. These are 1-point perspective with the vanishing point going right in the center. This one has the vanishing points here. So on these ones I'm looking at the square where that's parallel to that, that's parallel to that. On this one I'm seeing the edge, the corner of the cube. Okay, now let's switch over to this. So here I have 2-point perspective, vanishing points. I've got 2 cubes, well they're more like rectangles. And here's the horizon line, okay? So if your eye level's at the horizon line, when we drew the cube above the horizon line, if you were standing there and there's a little tiny miniature ant, he's looking above, he's underneath looking up at it. So that's called an ant's eye view. Now here's the cube below the horizon line, and here's my birdie, and so that's called a bird's eye view because we're looking down on the building, looking up on the cube or building. Looking up, looking down. Okay, let's practice that. And see, I have these vertical lines for both of the cubes. Okay, that was, I drew the vanishing point about in the middle. I have I'm going to make my 2 vanishing points. I have my horizon line in the middle. I don't know if I said that. 2 vanishing points. They could be anywhere on the page. They can even go off the page, but that would make it more confusing. Then I'm going to do these lines right here, these vertical lines. And hopefully you can see that. Then I'm going to take my vanishing point and go to the top of the box. And I want the end of the box to be here. So then I'm going to go there. Uh-oh. I didn't line it up very well. And then I'm going to do the same with this side. So we have partial, we have part of the box. So let's just end the box right here and maybe here. It doesn't have to be the exact places where I have them. You could make it wider. So then I need another line there, and I need another line here. So there is my cube. And because you're drawing in pencil, you wouldn't be able to see all these sides, all these lines. So there's my cube. And it's above the horizon line. All right, let's try one down here. I'm going to have it go to there and there. I'm going to go to there and there. And then I will make this one a little longer. These are vertical like the edge of the paper. And then I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to go here. Uh-oh, Miss Linda did something wrong. Oh, I didn't finish this one. Okay. There's my cube, my rectangle cube. So these are a good thing to practice. If the barn is a little too difficult, don't worry about it. Just practice doing these cubes with 2-point perspective. Okay, now we are going to do this. I call it a barn with a silo. I just kind of made it up. Here's my horizon line. I have most of the building above the horizon line, and I have a little bit of it below. So on this sheet of paper I had already pre-started. Make my horizon line. I'm going to make it light because I think all the black lines makes it, I'm going to make it light with a pencil, it makes it confusing. So I made the top part go up about 2 inches and the bottom goes down about 1 inch. And then I line that up. I line that up. And do the same for the top. Now here's the roof. The tricky part is this triangle on the top kind of coincides with this part of the building. So you can make a dot where the middle of it is. It could have been down here. Now I'll make it right here. Okay, and then I'm going to just go to the edges. Okay, Here's the top of this building. I'm going to erase the lines I don't need because I think that makes it confusing. I used. Okay, I'm going to use this lower. I'm going to use this lower one for the roof line. Now the windows on the barn, I can make a light mark for where I want the bottom of them to be, and another light mark lined up to the vanishing point where I want the top of them to be. Then the sides of the windows are going to be vertical like your paper and parallel to these other lines. It's windy outside today. I don't know if you can hear the wind blowing through the windows. It's blowing all the papers everywhere. And then the same with like the opening where a car goes in, or that lines up by using, there goes the paper. I will make the opening right there. No, I will not do that. I will make it right here from this vanishing point. Okay, and then I have a row of windows here. If it helps you, erase this line so not to make it confusing. We don't need the horizon line going through the building anymore. Okay, for these these other windows, I can make a mark where I want the bottoms and the tops, and then just make up your own windows. I have another one up here. Now I'm just freehanding it. Okay, the other thing I did was make this walkway and kind of a side area where the street goes off, and I went into this corner so I can just line my ruler up to there. I can line for the pathway of where the trees are, and I'll stop it there at the edge. Okay. And then the other things I did was just to put this going out. I made my trees. I can make a line for the tops of the trees. Say the tops of the trees are about here. Then I can make my trees go back into space, and they're hitting this line. They're getting smaller looking as they go off in space. They look like lollipop trees, it's okay. Oops, and I should have made this wider right here so that I could put them in their little planters. Okay, the silo. I don't need these lines anymore. The silo is holding the grains and from the crops that they grew. Okay, and then we'll get into some shading. We're gonna next do pen and ink. Is next to how I've got things outlined. In real life, things are not outlined unless you're doing something animated. I added mountains too. But for this purpose, I think it's fine, you know, through the end of the roof. Okay, so what I did next is outline with my Sharpie, and then I got my colored pencils, and I did the sky as this part being lighter. So I did my yellow with the side of my pencil, and then I overlapped orange, and then I overlapped a darker orange or red, overlapping like I did yellow, and then I did orange on top a little bit, and then on top of the orange I think I went to the reds and then the purples and blues. And then notice, so if the sun is coming from this general area, this side of my silo is shaded, and I just used a regular pencil. After I colored pencils, I used just a regular pencil. Also, look at the barn. This side is a little bit darker red than this side because it's not getting the sunlight. I did also put a little bit of shadows with my pencil, because the sun would be coming from this direction. Now I didn't just notice this right now, made this side of the roof that's not receiving the sunlight a little darker than these sides. And I went ahead and put a little shadow underneath the roof line. Okay, this was just colored pencil. It's just light and dark colored pencil. All right, well, I think that is it. Again, of course, if you have any questions, let me know. Zoom me, call me, email me, anything. And I will see you next week. Thanks, guys. Be well.